Hey,
Hey, you live.
hello, we're live.
Hello. Oh, my camera died.
Camera died?
Look at how pissed I'm looking.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh. My camera's alive.
Yes, that's good.
So for once,
It's rip shit.
I'm not the one that's having camera issues.
No. I told you, good vibes only this stream, and what happens?
Oh no, bad vibes.
Bad vibes. Now I can fix
It's
this.
also not loading for me. Okay, fix it. Fix it.
I'll fix
Okay.
it.
Oh, we have the drop.
Oh.
The drop.
Hello. I'm here.
Hey, is it working now?
Yeah, perfect. Let me see.
Right.
Is it this one? It's a mini
Is it
me.
working?
No, it's not working.
Is it not working?
No.
Okay. Okay, I'll just do the intro, you fix it, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Wooting live stream. Edition let's see, 52 times 9, 450? No, 450 to 225. Edition 225. Today we don't really have any topics except for the big obvious one, which is the 10s drop, which will be next week Thursday at 4 p.m. NL time. Is that correct? I think that's correct.
Yes.
So that's pretty hype.
Mhm.
I think yesterday was a new video drop.
Now your camera died.
No,
As soon as
my camera died.
As soon as my camera started working, yours died.
Oh no!
Perfect.
What is going on? I thought this was going to be the stream without any issues.
I thought so. I was so well prepared. Okay. Oh well. No worries. No worries. Oh, okay. Well, Jeroen is gone completely. It's only me. It's a solo stream now. So, what was Jeroen saying? Something about launch next week. Next week. Yes, it is. It is true. I am kind of the fun person. But we can get. I mean, yeah. I think I can unmute Jeroen maybe on Slack. Maybe we can try.
No, it should be.
Okay.
I should be back.
Oh.
No.
No. Yeah. No. Well, people can hear you though. That's true. But there's no camera.
There we go. Backup camera.
Backup camera. Let's do it. Okay. Can I get a shout out? Sure. Get a shout out. Whoa, Jeroen, you're so big.
Huh? What happened?
It's good.
Yeah, I guess I changed the camera.
Perfect. Okay.
Let me just a little bit.
Good. It's like what?
You know what? Not even gonna bother.
So you said this is live stream 250 something.
225.
225. I was still not prepared.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like we've been doing this every 2 weeks for like the last 9 years, 8 or 9 years. So 52, 26 times 9 should be about like that many? Jesus, that will be a lot. That's a lot actually.
That's a lot, right? Yeah.
That's like 450 hours of unprepared content.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
Well, no, that's not true. I mean, I would say about 3% of the live streams is like prepared.
I think that's probably good. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But also,
any live stream that Sander does, maybe they'd be a bit more prepared.
That's true. Yeah.
Or not.
And it's also fantastic because I remember we used to be so stingy. I mean, we still are. And I think one of the more well-prepared live streams was with the 6THE, original 6THE. I don't know, either we launched already or we announced an announcement.
Yeah.
I had like you and Carl on a desk with lights and a script, and then we had like a scrappy webcam, and I was like, yeah, can we do like better quality? Can we use phones? Yeah, we can, but then we have to pay like 60 euros for an app to make it work. Oh no, let's not do it. And we discussed it for like 30 minutes. Let's just buy it.
Oh my god, yes. Yeah, that sounds like exactly what we do.
Yeah.
Because even to this day, I don't know why I don't just have a camera. But I do have to say, I normally use my phone as the camera, and I do it all the time. I do it every week because I have like Vietnamese lessons. Then I use the camera, and it always works. But for some reason, with this like stupid live stream app, it never works. So I blame the app, not my hardware.
No, I agree. I mean, but isn't it that with a MacBook, can't you just choose your iPhone as a?
That's what I have. Yeah, let me show you.
And it
That's what
doesn't
I tried.
work. It doesn't work. I mean, this
Yeah.
is a fantastic setup, yeah.
This is what I tried.
And
But then for some reason it breaks with the app. Normally it works all the time.
I remember I was in a serious call once, and I had to pay attention, and I was like talking to the person, and at the same time I was like shooting a message to my wife because I wasn't really invested in the conversation. But for some reason it took like the camera of my phone automatically, and it was like a very weird angle, and I was like still chatting. I was looking down, and I couldn't imagine how this worked or what happened. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, when it works, it's fantastic. It's just, well, okay. It's only this stupid live stream app that you're using.
Yeah.
Because it always works. It's just because I also had this with the end of the year stream and also kept breaking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so this tool, we use Video Ninja. That's how it's called, and it's fantastic getting like multiple people on stream without doing like a screen capture, because you get like actually good webcam data, let's say, directly into a video feed. So overall, it's good, but with you, it's not a success.
No. But I think that's probably more of a me problem because I'm very cursed with these kind of things. Like, it's always shit. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Anyway.
My mic sounds fantastic.
It is.
That's nice.
I like it.
Damn.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing? We're doing good. How are you doing?
Decent.
I think we're... So what... Okay. This is going to be a really dumb question, Erik, but what did we announce yesterday before I kind of start to say things that are not announced yet?
We announced everything except pricing, I think. I think we still keep that a secret. I wouldn't even call it a secret. I don't know when we had planned to announce the pricing, but it's just we don't show it on the landing page, and it's a bit awkward to cramp it in between. So we just decided like, oh, let's leave that for launch, or maybe we can do another tweet a few days beforehand. But it's so, but besides pricing, because I saw the pricing already a few times in the chat, I'm not going to go into pricing today. So then for that you have to wait. Top of my mind, 6 days, 1 hour, 41 minutes and 0 seconds. Just
there you go.
Then you probably know the price. But the rest we did announce yesterday, and I'm thinking, I mean, we the last month we triggered like information here and there on socials and on Discord already, but now it's all compacted, contained on the landing page. And I think the biggest piece of information is that you can actually purchase this keyboard next week, and then we ship it immediately.
Yep, it's in stock. All of it.
All of it.
Right, Mark? No, it's in stock. I know it's in stock. I saw the announcement.
It's, it's very exciting. There's also like a time.
That's actually the first time we do something where we do a big sale or new product and it's actually in stock, right? Especially for a keyboard. The V2 was close.
Yeah.
But not all in stock.
No. Not on this scale. No. No. So that's it's very very exciting. I think so, because the stock is also limited, right? We have a finite amount of keyboards, and they will start selling next week. And it's very difficult to gauge the actual interest, but we'll see. I mean, maybe it takes a few days, weeks to sell out. Maybe it's sold out within a few hours. It's very difficult to do. And then one thing, it's also the first time we're doing something like a collaboration on this scale, right? With a X-Pro Pro player with this caliber, and it's for us, I guess, a very interesting learning experience. And
there's a lot of new things. I think also like just building hype with the person is not something we've really done before, because the only other collab we did is with Optimum, and I think that was just like Optimum releases the video, but there was no like build up to it, I think, as much. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, we teased a little bit. But we kept like, okay, the video is gonna be the main big thing, and it's But then because the first announcement for TENS was already in May, end of April.
I saw, because I was kind of looking back at like how like when we started to work on this. So it's almost a year ago already.
And we started working on this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think actually it's around this time of the year. I think we had some calls with them left and right, and of course the idea sparked a little bit early already in 2024, and yeah, we went some back and forth, and then we decided like, oh, let's do it. Let's see what because we had some, of course, one thing we would have, at least one thing we were afraid of to start with when we started this project, and one thing I think a few people also was against it, is it shouldn't feel like a cash grab, and it shouldn't feel like a recaller of the 8HE. That was very important.
Mm-hmm.
And what we want to do is like, okay, what can we tweak to sort of personalize a keyboard on skill, right? So it's not like, hey, you make a one-off keyboard that you can do like the craziest thing with. How can you take an 8HE? What can you modify it to tweak it to one person's liking? And I think in the end it was quite a success, and we made some improvements compared to the 8HE. Like for example, the feet, they collect less dust, but then again on the 8HE you don't see that because it's kind of gray, the feet. We have the die-sub keycaps, that's quite nice. And the big part, of course, the switches, right? It's lacquer thicker switches with a different type of spring and a recaller, and it has a very unique lighter feeling to it compared to the normal lacquer thick switches.
The 10 thickens,
yeah. And of course it's preloaded with his profile, and it's overall quite a nice keyboard.
Yeah. I think at least like we essentially changed whatever we could change. Like everything we could touch, like realistically touch, is changed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Down to the cable. At
Down
least
to the cable, plate, the plate even.
Yes. Reevaluated, and also doing something new, right? So normally with the 8HE we have a white PC plate, and with the original 6HE we had a white steel plate, and with the 6HE V2 we have a white FR4 plate to sort of bounce the RGB light back.
Right.
So it doesn't absorb the light that much. I get like a feeling of brighter RGB, and it looks more popping and nicely. With TENS we sort of went the other way around. We had like we now have a black FR4 plate that absorbs a lot of light, so it really gives it even more of a stealthy feeling.
Muted profile. Yeah. I'm also kind of curious how the because I don't think I've seen the keyboard, but not really like use it and haven't like turned it on, because there's also the transparent in between piece on the side, right?
Yeah, it's I wouldn't call it, I don't know.
It's not transparent, but
I don't know if
it's
you
more
can.
like.
I don't think the camera will pick this up because it's.
I don't see your camera. No, I need to do it on the.
Yeah, you can't see it, but at least on the landing page there are some renders that showcase it better, and I think the big promo video will also showcase it better. But it's not like translucent; it's sort of opaque. It's sort of, well, it's semi-translucent. You can see through, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
See a lot of love for the split spacebar in the chat.
It is, right? Yeah.
Somebody asked if we would do like a 75 or 80% with split spacebar. Maybe.
The
spacebar,
do you like the split spacebar, Jeroen?
I haven't like I've tried it, like just try on it, but I haven't like used it for a longer time, because I don't think I have it here. Maybe I have it here. My sort of like stack of samples is such a mess that sometimes I get stuff and it's just like a big pile full of like crap. But then people also want the new Wooting 2HE to have a split option. Which new Wooting 2HE you're talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
I also want 2HE split. That would be sick. I mean, do you need it?
That would be sick. Yeah.
That would be sick, right?
Yeah. No, but I haven't really used it yet. Have you?
Yes. Yeah.
And are you or are you like?
I think it's fantastic.
Huh.
I especially for for productivity, I really like it. So mod tab, I cannot really work with it, right? With mod tab on the arrow keys, it's like a nice middle in between ground, especially I think if you're a developer, you need to go quickly through code, it's quite nice. But I really rely on my second layer. And normally how I reach my second layer is through like the caps lock key on my ping. And then I can, for example, have like my arrow keys on the WASD. That works quite well. And then, but with the split spacebar, one thing that's very nice is that you can sort of just move your thumb a little bit to the right, and then you have your arrow keys also there. And you can even do it more crazy if you use your other hand, because now you can use your other hand, your thumb, on a split spacebar or on the middle button, right? If that's your second layer, and they can all of a sudden reach the right side of your keyboard with like, for example, media keys very easily. And it's overall just quite nice. And one thing I've noticed is I never use the right spacebar, never.
Yeah, also with typing, because I have like tried to pay attention to it a bit, like when I was typing, and it's the same. Yeah, sometimes you kind of smack it maybe for like when you're not actually typing or something. But then I also don't really use it. Yeah, but I think I'm also just too used to using the 80. So I think it will I have to get used to both like the 60 again and the split spacebar. So maybe a bit scary. I'll try it. I'll definitely need to try it.
So one thing what I also like about split spacebar is in gaming, right? Because you just have a very nice, handy, convenient key at your disposal. And I use, for example, with Battlefield 6, I have like the tab key binded to the middle key, so you can easily see like the scoreboards if you want to see like, hey, how you're doing or what's going on, or like what's the roles within your thing, and maybe you need a medic or whatever, then you can quickly just see it. And it's really convenient because it doesn't. You still have like your focus on your WASD, and I know that Jet, for example, he plays a lot of League, and it's now we have like this League WASD. It's now, I don't think you can use it competitively, but you can use like in live. It's not even a beta anymore, and I think on a spacebar by default it's like flash. So, and flashing, where you can flash through walls or jump, right? Or if you're being hooked, you just flash away. That's now on a spacebar. So you move with WASD, and that's like the default binding. But one thing that's very annoying is normally on spacebar, if you use like the classic controls with your mouse, spacebar is sort of centering your camera back on your character, right? So if you're like scavenging the map.
So you're very, very used to it.
Yeah. So now it's very nice that you can still have like spacebar for like centering your map. But then you, for example, use the middle button for flashing or maybe an ult or whatever, right? And
Wait, so what does the WASD? Have you played like the WASD League?
We did it with the whole marketing team. We needed to understand how it worked, so we played it the whole morning. Yeah.
So what's the so what's the general layout now? So you have WASD for movement, and your skills are like 1, 2, 3, 4 or something, or what?
Yes. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Can't exactly. I only played it then, so I can't really remember. But it's or maybe it was like QER something still. But instead of like clicking, you move like with your WASD. And one thing that's very interesting is that you just normally when you're, for example, playing AD carry or mid, right? You always have to like click, move, and be like constantly with your moving. And then at the same time, you need to last hit minions. Yeah. And that's very, well, at least for me, that's always very tricky, right? And that's also where you get like the skill ceiling of League for people who can manage everything at once. But now you can sort of, just chill with your WASD, like move up and down and constantly be on the move and avoid skill shots. Well, with your mouse, you can just focus on making those last hits. And and you can even, I think a big thing like characters who are very strong with auto attacking, you can just keep left click down constantly and it auto attacks. You don't have to worry that much about movement, and now you can, for example, feign just chase a character without where you have to like clicking
while you're still dodging stuff. You just like kind of keep exactly. I see.
So for some characters it's OP, but I think they tweaked it or something, and it feels like a very fresh and new game. And then I mean, after that day, I played it once myself, but then in League, everybody's salty and flaming, and I felt like, yeah, no.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic League of Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I haven't touched the game in a long time.
No, I can imagine. Yeah.
Damn.
No, it's but I can highly recommend.
But you said it's actually, you can use it in live as well, like also in ranked then?
No, it's not in ranked now. I think it's only in a certain mode now. But it used to be on a public beta, but now you can play it in the main game. At least that's what I've been told. But not in competitive. Yeah. But I think the idea is to add it to competitive play as well.
So what's kind of like the reason they give for adding it? Is it just kind of like lower the barrier of entry?
Could be shaking it up, changing the game.
Shake it up, I guess. Yeah.
I think I can see this idea happening, similar to how we made utility web. There's no need for it. It's just possible. And then there's an internal build and people like it, and then it's like, okay, let's push to public beta and see if people like it or not.
Yeah. No, utility web is different. It's different, Erik. Utility web is brilliant.
It is, right?
Did you see the let's just say Chinese company that essentially copied everything from the utility down to the text?
It's horrible.
Unbelievable. I feel like of course, like we know that a lot of them that they copy parts from the utility. Like we also found like our utility assets in their build and those kind of things. But then to at least change the text, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's that's too much of a copy and paste. Yeah. And they also announced it as a sort of like, oh, this is like our new 2.0 configuration. Where
that's I mean, it's fine that they look at us for inspiration, right? Because that's what you do when you make things, right? It's the same thing. We also look at competitor software, and you think like, oh, this is something they do well, this is something they don't do well. How can we make it our own, right? And find something nice in between. And of course, some things you just copy, like more of these general patterns. That's fine, but actually copying the text, that's something else. Then it's that's very lazy. Yeah.
Especially nowadays, just dump it in ChatGPT, you know. Like even if you say this is the text, can you like slightly modify it and make it say the same thing?
Yeah.
It's so easy to change.
There was also another big keyboard brand. Well, I think they're really pushing hard now with their esports thing. It's a really well-established brand, and one of the first promo images of their keyboard used our cable. Just a 6-inch cable. Yeah.
with their keyboard.
Yeah.
Wait, who was it? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I can share it after the stream.
Okay. I can see it.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine because that means it's of course, right, people want to copy us or want to have something similar as us. Of course they're going to buy a Wooting and check it out, but copying is it's like really bad. Yeah.
And that's also kind of cool with the 6HG because the cable is so recognizable because it's yellow and black, so it really jumps out. Also, like if you see like a tournament or something, if somebody uses it, you can immediately spot.
The strap also helps.
Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about the Logitech mouse?
Logitech mouse?
Because I'm quite interested in that one. Do you see that one? Because I saw Hassan just brought it up in the chat. So they made a. I mean, I don't want to just call it a rapid trigger mouse because I do feel like it's a bit more than that. But they essentially made a mouse that changed the activation point.
Oh.
And I was kind of like, when they first announced it, like a few months ago, I was kind of curious how it works. And I think they released a video like a few days ago, talk a bit more in detail about it. And it's quite cool because they have essentially with the mouse for the press itself, like to sense how far down you press it, they use an inductive sensor.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they first announced it, that's what I kind of got. But I was kind of curious how they did the click, because if you change the activation point, and if you still have like like a spring or something for a click, or some sort of like metal leaf that they have in the normal switches, then yeah, if your activation point changes, then it's not like aligned with the click anymore. That's why also like we generally don't use the clicky switches and just the linear ones. But what they ended up doing is that the click is introduced with haptic feedback.
Oh,
So essentially just a little buzz, just
That's
like
smart.
on your touchpad, if
That's
you have a MacBook or a laptop.
yeah, that's very
And
cool.
the claim or the idea is of course that you can, as soon as like you, let's say you press it like 0.1 or something, and you have set your activation point there, that you can feel the click at that point, which is like kind of cool. It should be very cool. But the thing I'm like very curious about is that how fast will the sort of like click feeling, or how fast so let's say you press it down, right? 0.1 millimeter, it's activation point, and then it's kind of like, then you need to activate the sensor and then feel the click, or you need to activate the haptic feedback and then feel the click. And I'm kind of wondering what the delay is between like you pressing and passing that point and you kind of feeling the click. Because if it's like a bit slow, then it doesn't really like even make that much sense to really like adjust it to the distance that you press. But if it's really fast, then you should be able to really like feel a difference on like where it actually activates. So that's what I'm kind of like, and that's what I'm kind of curious about. Because I would think initially that it's a bit slow, because like essentially you need to have a signal and then start buzzing something. But I don't know, like, because like you need to introduce some sort of physical movement, right? I think that's inherently a little bit slow. But then I've never like used this stuff before, so I don't really know like how it will actually feel.
Isn't it the same with joysticks, right? They also become more better, more faster, and most of the feedback you feel in gaming joystick these days are just haptic feedback, or even things that push out, right? Like I think with the PlayStation controller, you have like these back buttons. They also change their weight based on some in-game things. And I know, for example, with the Steam controller and the Steam Deck, there's also like this haptic feedback that's very good, also on the trackpad. And one thing that's very interesting, as soon as the Steam Deck is off, or maybe even with your MacBook, right, with the trackpad, it just feels like a dead piece of whatever. And of course, this is then a productivity tool, not really a high-end competitive whatever thing. I don't even know if that mouse is meant to be a competitive gaming mouse.
It is. I think it's like esports focused.
Yeah. Then it's. I mean that's. I think they could probably do it like quick enough, right? Provide feedback, because a click is also slow, I guess, right? It's quite similar.
Yeah, but I think a trigger button on a joystick is slower. Because and sometimes you even like intentionally just half press it, right, or slow press it. But with a click, it's like on off, and you don't slow click. Like it's just you just want it to be faster, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think the activation point, like being able to change that I think like people will like. I'm just curious about the haptic feedback.
I think the haptic feedback is even more fantastic than the activation point, because now you can actually change the feeling of your mouse.
True.
And that's fantastic. True. So you can say like, hey, I want a really hard buzz, right? Because I like maybe you like an opera, right? You're like poof, and then poof, so like you have that feeling. But maybe you want to have like just a very tiny smudge of
very tiny,
just a very. It's. I think that is very cool that you can control and customize that. And I think also sound. It can also help with the sound, because a lot of with keyboards, right? Sound is very important. How switches sound, and are they like bingy? Are they noisy? And mice, they sound horrible. There aren't that many mice that sound really nice. And most of the time, the two buttons also sound differently. One is maybe more higher pitched, the other one more shallow, maybe. And this can definitely this can help.
Yeah, the durability should then also be much better compared to normal switches.
Yeah, but then again,
Yeah.
no, you have another breaking part, and that's that little buzzer thing or
Yeah.
whatever gives the feedback. Yeah.
Hey, but then maybe you can also apply that same controller idea, Eric, where it's like, okay, you can kind of feel the tension build up, or you can also just use it for like different kinds of feedback or something, where you let's say you see something in game and all of a sudden like your buttons start to vibrate a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you can essentially just start them at any time, right? Like you just need some sort of trigger for it.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do like aim training when you should. Oh, if you combine it with like aim training software, you can give like feedback when you should be clicking to get the shot. And then you can essentially feel like the timing of it.
Damn, Logitech, you watching?
That be possible?
Write all these ideas down.
Right on.
Yeah,
that could be pretty cool.
That could be very cool. Yeah. Do we need? How difficult is it to get like this type of feedback in a keyboard? You think?
I think it is just guessing, right? Because I haven't used it, but I would guess in the mouse it's much easier because you have like a lot of surface area, right? You only have two buttons that have a lot of surface area. So if you have like the trigger, I guess it's PH, I'm not sure what the trigger is called, haptic feedback trigger here, you can have two, one here, right? Or maybe just have one, I'm not sure, but you have like a lot more like distance in between them, so I think you can isolate them a lot better. But on a keyboard, like your keys are so close to each other, like you have so many, I think it will be quite hard to do like one like trigger per key. So you probably need to kind of like share them with like a cluster of keys, and that might be a bit difficult. So I think it's like possible. It's just that with the mouse it's a lot simpler because you only have two buttons.
Yeah.
And with and usually with the keyboard, like the thing what makes it difficult is not necessarily the idea itself, but that you need to do like 100. You need to do it 100 times, and they need to be like 100 times like performed like relatively equally. And it's also like with analog keyboards, right? Like now we don't think that much about it anymore, but it used to be that the sensors are just too expensive to do it 100 times, and that's why analog keyboards at one point like just kind of got completely like dropped until the sensors started to become like affordable again, that you could put 100 sensors, or you could put one sensor per key and make like something that people can actually afford, instead of like the let's say 10-20 years ago when that would have just been impossible. And I think with the haptic feedback is probably similar. And yeah, I'm never really a big fan of like doing only like cluster, like let's say you do only WASD or something. That's always kind of lame.
Yeah, they're also, the little things are also pretty bigger than you would expect, at least for the feedback. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay.
What? Sorry, what?
Well, the little thing that provides like the little haptic feedback, they're also like bigger than you think they would be size-wise. So I think there's not that much space on the keyboard to flop them in everywhere. Yeah.
I would assume so, but that could be maybe for like OO or something that we have like less keys. Then it could be quite cool.
Yeah.
No, I think we did explore using it for like those 3 digital buttons at the front at the time, but I think we ended up just going for normal buttons because it was just much easier and it wasn't really like worth it to because if you have like your touchpad on your laptop or something, you can save a lot of space, right? Or you can make it like you really need to have like the most efficient type of feedback. For us in the OO, we could just put normal buttons in there and just a lot simpler.
Yeah, I guess for me, what a total dream would be is if every switch had like, I don't know if you even call it haptic feedback, but that you could sort of change how they behave.
Yeah, that's a dream. Yeah,
it's like like, oh, now you can change like, oh, I really want light keys here, or I want heavy keys here, or only go towards 2 millimeter, not deeper, right? So I can react even faster. That would be like very cool.
Yes.
Or maybe and even for gaming, right? Like maybe your character's like somewhere in the swamp, but then the WASD retracts very slowly. You can feel like that could be quite fun. Maybe
Yeah,
we
you
can just
change
make
the
one, right? One concept keyboard just for me.
yeah.
We can bring it to shows.
It would be cool to kind of like make that more like a concept keyword. Yeah.
Like
We don't
Mercedes
really,
does with CES, right? They have like the sickest car, like, hey, this is like the sickest car we can build, but we're not going to do anything
exactly.
with it. And it's just to promote like this little weird thing in a car that every car already has. And
Yeah.
Or maybe for Gamescom, we
should
just make a concept keyboard.
can make note of it.
Good. Good.
Let's see. I'm gonna write this down because I do think
It's happening, chat.
maybe
Thanks.
for Gamescom this year. Yeah.
Or CES next year.
Yeah, CS. We've we've never really been to CS.
No.
Oh, yeah, Carla has been there once.
Yeah.
But it's not really our event, I think.
Oh, if you make it, Jeroen, I'll make sure Mark, the team, organize something for CES. That would be cool.
Yeah, then we go on a trip together.
We do the keyboard of tomorrow.
The keyboard of tomorrow.
Tomorrow never comes, right?
Oh,
that's
like a dream. I know what's I'm not sure how much I can share about this, but I know at some point we did try. It's not really a leak because we did try to use like electromagnets for like the introducing the feedback, so that you can also like control the so essentially you just have a magnet that you can control for your physical feedback. With the idea being like, oh, if you make it like very, very strong, then it will be very, very hard to push the key, right? And I think at some point we had like something that you could feel, but to really like make it strong enough, you had to like use so much power and it would get so hot that it wasn't even like already difficult to do for one key, let alone 100 times.
There is always on the Dutch Clackicon, I've seen it 2 times now already, is Thomas Ram, you know, the reviewer.
Yeah.
It's not his keyboard, it's from a friend of his. He has like a 3D printed keyboard with magnets. It's like a maglev keyboard. So they're like different layers of magnets, and depending on how thick you 3D print the layers, a different feeling you can do. But the whole gimmick is like you press a key and then all of a sudden like the force of the magnet becomes so strong, so you have to push through it. Then like poop, you push through it, so you have like this clicky, or not clicky, but tactile feedback. And then at the end, at the bottom, there's like another magnet. It's like opposites that make sure that it has just enough force to poop the key back. And that's very, it has a very interesting feeling. So it's like you press and it's like all of a sudden heavy, and now poop, it's like that. And then you let go and it like poop, goes back up. And it's very, it's a very cool keyboard to just experience. It's not practical, right? Because it's 3D printed, a little bit brittle, what I've seen. But the concept is very cool, that what you can do with magnets.
Yeah, but then it will also be especially difficult to our keyboard because you also have the Hall sensors that you also impact.
Yeah, exactly.
That's but that I think that idea is definitely the dream, because I think we also, when we think about like tactile switches sometimes, that's also always kind of like the thing you run into, where it's like, okay, you can change your activation point, but you can't like change the point where you can feel the tactile or the click, let's say.
Yeah.
That's why I barely see any tactile or clicky switches with analog keyboards.
I mean, the ones from Gateron, they feel really nice that they made. What's the name again?
I'm gonna try.
We got a few of these boxes on Gamescom, and it's very cool. But
Jade Pro Max.
Yeah, are they Jade Pro? I don't know. It's.
I have no idea.
Maybe it could be Jade Pro Max clicky to the extreme.
Yeah.
It is. No, the name is different, but it is a very, very nice feeling, and you know, because tactile switches are just nice and different than linear.
Yes.
But it's just it doesn't make any sense to then just get a Hall effect keyboard. Just zero. You can just get any mechanical keyboard, and then there are better tactile switches out there, right? That are just tried and tested and whatever hype there is, and you just lose all the benefits of a Hall effect keyboard, in my opinion, because if you don't sync the tactile feedback with your activation point, it feels awkward. like you mentioned with the mouse, right? You need to
Yeah,
time
yeah,
it, and it needs to feel right. And maybe the only
yeah.
thing
I
that you
think
can
so.
tweak is maybe the fun thing you could tweak, and this is something we could experiment with. Is, hey, if you just put your activation point just before the click happens or just after the click happens, that can maybe is like a personal preference, right? How you can
Yeah,
adjust
yeah,
it, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Other than that, if it's too far off, it's probably very awkward and weird. Yeah.
yeah. But I guess you can maybe like the only big difference you could have is that you could be. No, I'm just thinking like compared to like a normal mechanical switch, maybe you just have more space on the inside, so you could be like more creative with your click mechanism, let's say. But then
I mean, they're more durable, easier to hot swap, right? You don't have weird sockets
Yeah,
and
yeah,
things
yeah.
that can break. So in that sense, it is a little bit more, has a longer lifespan, one would assume. I mean, maybe now that I think about it, it could be fun if you match the tactile point with sort of a DKS trigger point. Like, hey, this is your first part of DKS, then below that, it's your second part of DKS. So you have more of a
Yeah.
well, tactile feedback on how to use it. That could be fun, useful.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I could. Now I'm still thinking about the. Keep thinking about how to try to make a keyboard with like the.
Have you?
With like the different activation point with the physical feedback.
You should try it with a. I don't know if you tried. If you know if you have a PlayStation 5 around you or an area or somewhere,
No.
or somebody you know who has it. It's quite.
Oh, actually, you do. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some games that kind of make use of it, where the trigger at the back becomes just very tough to press, almost impossible. With like maybe you have to chop through a certain thing, or you have to pull something. It's like that's very very immersive.
But then that one should be quite big, right? I would assume, like relatively big. Like it needs to introduce quite some force.
I think so. I think I don't know how it works or how it looks, but I assume it's big. Yeah.
And it sucks your battery for your controller.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, you had an interesting talking point about stream. You wanted to talk about how it is to prepare for launch of a keyboard and all the things that come in between, but that's no fun. I
can go into it. I mean,
no, maybe we should just
kind of doing like a
maybe we
tech
should
stream
just,
anyway.
Yeah,
so.
let's scan through the chat if there are interesting questions. I haven't even read the chat, to be honest.
I saw somebody ask what headset I have. It's the Shock. So it's like an inductive. No, it's like so it doesn't sit in your ear. It just kind of vibrates here, and then it kind of rings your bone, and that's how you can actually hear it. And I would say it's like a very cool idea. It's just as a headset, it's just not very good. The only thing is that it's very light. Like it's very easy to, it's just very light on your head. So it's very comfortable for like longer sessions. And it has like a little microphone, which is like makes the audio fine-ish. So it's like for a wireless headset with a microphone, it's like okay, and it's very light. It's just that the audio quality is kind of like
It's hollow, right? A little bit. The sound is hollow.
Yeah, sound is hollow. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I also tried it out because Kalle also used to have, and I don't know if he still has it. And it's very interesting because you can even just put it a little bit away from your bones, and you still hear it, but it feels like everybody's in a different room all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's kind of distant.
Yeah. It's very funny how it works.
Yeah. The only nice thing is because I live in a pretty hot climate.
Oh yeah.
So then it's very nice because you don't have like anything. Because I think like if you have like AirPods or something that sit in your ear the whole day, that's kind of annoying. Because I just wear it the whole day. But then if you have a headset and I wear it the whole day, it just gets way too sweaty and warm. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But it's also quite expensive, so I wouldn't really recommend it for most people.
I also like over ear cups, right? And I have this one for already quite a long time. And when I purchased it, it was like perfect, right? It felt like, oh, this fits over my ears quite nicely. But I think I already have it now like 3 or 4, maybe 5 years. And now I've noticed that my ears have grown. They're larger. And now it starts to become a little bit uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah. And apparently your nose and your ears,
damn.
they continue to grow the rest of your life. So I've reached a point where my ears are now too big
Right.
for this headset.
But are they also kind of get like shaped in your headset because you wear it so often? They kind of grow into it.
Yes.
They get
Yes.
a little headset shape.
And my ears are like this. Well, the inside is like really, all the color fabric is like faded where my ears touch, and yeah, it's. But yeah, doesn't break, so you don't need a new one, right? It's same as a Wooting keyboard. You buy it once and set for life. Yeah. So you better pick the right keyboard, and I would say if you pick a keyboard, get a tense keyboard. So marketing shout out done.
Yeah. Good job, Erik. What's the countdown? 6 days?
1 hour. Yeah.
1 hour? 6 days, 1 hour, 4 minutes. That's what it should say.
Yes.
I guess it's correct.
Okay, good. Here are the questions. Get the 6G Plus. It's cheaper than the V2. And the only change was the split spacebar. Oh. Nothing changed, Jeroen. Only split spacebar. I mean,
it depends what you care about, but yes.
That's true. I mean, if you just performance-wise, they are, even though the 6G V2 is 8 kilohertz, most people won't notice the difference. No.
That's right.
Yeah, good choice. Random question, but are you on Google Meet or Zoom? Neither. We are on
Google Meet or Zoom.
It's interesting how it's set up. So I'm on a Slack call with Jeroen, so Jeroen can hear my audio. And then we use Video Ninja to get like the Jeroen's camera in here. Yeah.
And my audio, right? Like the audio also goes through there, I would assume.
Yes.
Or do you take the audio from Slack as well?
No,
the audio is just, the Slack is just for me to hear you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
indeed. Because
I don't have to listen to your delayed voice on stream though.
No, well, I mean, you could send it through Video Ninja as well, but one thing you've noticed is that it isn't always the best and sometimes unstable. And sometimes for some reason, if I use my mic in Video Ninja, the live stream or OBS like, no, I'm not going to use that mic. And for some reason, Slack doesn't care if your mic's being used 26 times and Gather as well. Yeah, it's always different.
It's a bit strange. It makes me think about the year stream where we were all in this. So Video Ninja is essentially just this group call, right? It's this room, and then we were all in that room, like I think like 6 or 7 of us. Yeah. And then at some point, like we were just kind of talking, and then Sander was doing the marble game, and he was just like so hyping up. And then, but he didn't even hear us. Like we weren't sure if he could hear us or not. So we were at first like very quiet, and then we could kind of like realize like, wait a second, he can't even like really hear us. And then it turned into like his own little chat room outside of the stream. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, back to you guys. I was like, oh fuck, I have to stop spoiling again. I have to be careful what we're saying again.
It's very interesting because we were actually talking when Sander muted us, or at least we weren't. We were actually talking about the tense keyboard and some plans we had and about this whole collaboration. And I was like, oh my god, it would be so bad if this got leaked. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. And Carl didn't even leak it.
No.
During the stream.
No. It was so hilarious. Everybody told Carl, don't leak it, don't talk about it. It's not for this. And
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, he did leak the original 80, so in the 80 stream.
Yes, that was funny though. That was doable. Yeah,
that was funny. Yeah.
I think there was another point where he also leaked the 80 in another stream, even well before we announced the 80. I think it was like 6 months before that, but nobody noticed it. But
really?
But you could see like Calder fucked it up or something, but he kept it cool and he just kept on talking because if you don't know, you don't know, right?
Right. But did he just like say the word? Or
Yeah. He said the 80. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So if you don't know, you don't know. But yeah.
I can definitely imagine because when we talk, like when we work on new things, like we talk about like internally very casually, let's say, right? Yeah. So it kind of gets ingrained, and I was also thinking to myself, like there's a few things we're working on that we really, really cannot talk about. And I was also thinking, oh, I'm gonna do the live stream. Okay, these are the things that we normally talk about that I cannot talk about now.
Yeah.
But it also makes me feel a bit bummed out because those are also the things that I have like the most fun to talk about.
I agree. As soon as something is out or we can publicly talk about it, it gives me so much energy to talk about. It's like, oh, we can finally share it, and oh, this is so cool. We've been working on this, and this was a struggle, and blah blah blah, and
Hey, I actually think we still haven't done that full product documentary yet.
No. I tried to do it with I tried to do with the Stance keyboard though, and so people maybe don't know what. So I have a dream, a vision.
I have a dream.
We need to make a. So you maybe some of you know the YouTuber Strange Part. He makes like cool gizmos and gadgets in China, and the way he presents his journey, it's very interesting because he shares his struggles, his achievements, the things he run into, the annoying things, the great things, and then he encapsulates it into a nice story of 45 minutes to an hour, and it's always interesting to watch, even though I haven't watched his videos in 2 years or something. I used to like it quite a lot. And what I want to do is sort of make a video about a keyboard from beginning, like, hey, today we're going to decide that, hey, let's brainstorm about our next keyboard from that point onwards, all the way up to the release. And then you sort of celebrate all the genuine moments, like, oh, this is the first sample we've made. Like, oh, somebody finally shows like a few concepts of how the keyboard can look. And hey, what are the new gimmicks, or how do we come to certain conclusions, or just, just film all the meetings. And in the beginning with Dance, for example, we had like some online meetings together, right, where we talked about the keyboard and stuff. And I did screen record them, but in the end, it wasn't like super interesting. And you do need to plan ahead a little bit, right? And it's
you need to create those moments a little bit.
Yeah, and you need to put the camera on there. You need to be like in the moment. It's like, okay, I'm gonna unbox it, blah blah blah. You need to be the personality for it, and it's a lot of effort and work to make it, but it is a very interesting video because sometimes you, like during the process, we cannot always share what we want to share for various reasons, right? And it even gets worse now with competitors just looking at everything, and it wouldn't surprise me if even a competitor watches the stream, right? Like, hey, what are they doing next? What can we copy? What can we do? And so we have to be very careful.
And always the big problem is like because we don't really have like an office where everybody comes together because we all work remote. And then, like you said, we also don't use camera normally when we chat, thank God. And so there's not that much. Or we need to make a podcast. Yeah, that's also because like the listening experience. I think that's also going to just be super boring.
And to be honest, if you look back at the meetings where, I don't know, either a sample is being presented or, for example, there's a CMF, right? Like that's a document internally that we have, and maybe we present it to the whole company, right? Where we talk, hey, this is going to be the next keyboard. That thing, it is kind of boring. Like nobody's the person like, whoa, this is fucking sick. This is shit.
We're also not those kind of people.
This is what we need, right? And so like, okay, cool. And why is that piece good there? And why is the USB port there? And shouldn't we be like this? And how do we do with the 8-hitchy? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look into it.
You would imagine that there's like this like, oh, the Tense keyboard and the first sample, and everybody's like, what the fuck? But it's more like, oh, yeah, it looks nice, and then we just talk about like materials and stuff.
Yeah. And the worst part is because we what is very important is internally what we forget often is to share like, oh, this is great or this is good about the keyboard. No, everything we don't mention, we assume that everybody understands like, hey, this is already fantastic, great. Let's not spend the word talking about it. So it's like, oh, you finally get like your Tense keyboard, like, oh my God, you see this legend? It's a little bit off. Okay, this is good, this is bad. Like, oh, the spacebar, a little bit crooked, we need to fix it. And the sound of this, is this with every sample or just my sample? And why is there a little gap here? Oh, we need to definitely fix that. And they have like a list of 20 things. And so also, I wouldn't say pessimistic, but we're very critical. And the main goal is to improve the product. And
but how do how do we bring this back? I think if we want to do something like this, it needs to be kind of like part of the journey from the start and very like consciously like planned.
Yeah.
Whereas like you have like set moments in a product journey, those you know, right? And then you just need to make sure that you have like particular recordings for all of those moments.
Yeah, exactly.
And because I do think like of course like on one hand it will be like it might feel like a little bit. I don't think it will feel very forced, because there's also just a lot of moment in the product journey, because it takes so long from idea to actually making something, especially for something new. It can be like 1 year at minimum, right? And sometimes 2. That you also forget a lot. Like when you talk about it now, like by the time you can talk about it, like at the time of release, and then like so much shit has happened that you just completely forgot about.
Yeah, and sometimes like major timeline shifts are also very interesting. So originally we wanted to, with the dance key, we wanted to actually sell it and start selling it before the 6HE V2 launch. So we wanted to, I think, introduce it like September, October or something. And one thing that really hampered us back, and that, well, we knew this was a risk, was the Ever 4 plate for the 8HE. And we were thinking like, because at some point we sent Thijs and Tens both samples like, hey, this is the Ever 4 plate and this is the PC plate, and which one did you like? And we were sort of, even though we kind of wish he went for the Ever 4 plate, we hope like, hey, if he goes for the PC plate, we can definitely hit this timeline, because then we just have to recall what we already have. And he was like, no, Ever 4 plate's fantastic, this is the best, you know, it's exactly what I needed. And it was what I was missing with the 8. He's like, oh, fuck. that
He's waking up.
Yeah, that really puts some pressure on the timeline, right? Because even though it was possible to make an Ever 4 plate, we still didn't have like the correct mold, right? And everything to make it at scale. And and then you reach a point where it's like, okay, now it's kind of awkward, because with Tens, we don't want to have a long pre-order period, right? We want to have it in stock or very close in stock when we start selling it. And then it was like, okay, if we now do it, the Tens keyboard, then probably like a week after is when we want to do like the 6-stitch EV2, like, ooh, that's maybe awkward, or, you know, and we didn't want to attract like the focus from either products. Then we decided like, okay, let's push the Tens keyword to 2026, and which is also nice, better in the end, because that meant that we had more time to make sure that all the keyboards were in stock and we could just sell directly out of stock. So that's quite nice. And it's horrible.
Also thinking like, if you would make that video and essentially share everything, it would also kind of like highlight things for people. Like let's just say hypothetically, like you have an issue with some legends or something, and then people watch the video, and then it turned out that we already knew about it like a year ago, and then it's like, yeah, fuck, well, we can't really do that much about it.
Yeah,
what are we gonna do?
That is the most difficult part, and that is
like,
the scope creep.
Like you. It's scope creep, but also like how you talk about it, present the product. It's not like we sit there and we're like, oh, okay, well, I hope nobody notices, right? Like that's not how it works. But it's definitely like, it's not a clean process, right? Like you need to make trade-offs all the time to get something actually made and produced and on time, and like not too late, right? Like you make different trade-offs all the time. And I think like for somebody that's not too familiar with the whole process, even though we already share so much, I don't think there's probably not that much in there at all. But then
and sometimes you don't see things, right? Even though you have the best intentions. And I think the white sync, that was quite interesting, because even though we knew, well, at some if you look back internally, we knew that these gray marks could happen on the white sync case, but we also knew that you could easily remove them because some of the marks came from, I don't know, was either your desk or from your fingernails or whatever, and it wasn't like, then it felt like a big deal or something. But then if you used other objects to make scratches, it was like more permanent and more crappy. It's like, ooh, this is something, in hindsight, it's easy, like, hey, you sort of had a good indication that was happening. Why didn't you, research it more, or why did you, postpone
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something, and that is tricky sometimes.
Yeah. And especially with these kind of things where sometimes they also just you only truly know the scale of it like when you actually start to mass produce it.
Yeah.
And that's very, very, very difficult, especially with like new materials, and especially with crap like with coating and paint and
Yeah.
and even like to this, I don't know the exact, but I do know to this day we have like so many tests in parallel running now with like different coatings and different types of paint, just to kind of like make sure we don't get the white sink situation again.
No, just being prepared, and
Yeah.
Also with the 6HE V2, one thing that also delayed the project quite a bit was the case, right? I've been doing hot forging, cold forging, pressing, CNC, a mix of both.
Yeah.
And then it's like we sort of have like all this data and know like, okay, if you go for hot forging, the startup cost at this, but then the piece cost at this. So in total it would come down to this pricing per case. And that's like way over budget than when we would do this, but this would take longer and the quality here is better. And this, makes you keep it feel more premium, and this, I don't know. And it's like, at some point you're looking at like a Excel sheets like, okay, and we sort of have to make a decision like what we're going to go for. And then, okay, this seems best, right? Quality wise and money wise, let's go for this. And then 2 months later, you hear like, you're writing a marketing, like, oh, it's hot forge, it's super epic, in molten core, whatever, epic volcano is being made. It's like, no, we in the end we went for CNC because it was not feasible, but we forgot this, like, shit,
Jesus Christ, yeah.
And sometimes you also try to reinvent the wheel, right? And it's not always possible, feasible.
Yeah, but it's also there's also like a big part is also what the factories can do, what they can do well, because sometimes there's also just a process that in theory should be like better, but then the factories that you have like available are just not able to do it reliably, or they're just not used to dealing with your type of product or your type of requirements. And then so in theory it should be better, and then you try to essentially force, not force, but you try to force the factory to do it even though like they don't normally do it, and then the result is actually worse than that you would just take a sort of quote unquote worse theoretical process, but with the factory that's really good at it and does it all the time. And that's also like really something you just have to learn and try. So that there's a lot of factors that go into play. It's even to the point that we recently hired like a person full time for just quality control, the quality engineering.
It is
just pure for like quality reports essentially, and just managing all of that. That has just become like a full-time position now at Wooting.
And it is quite important, right? Having a certain quality standard and also checks when it comes to your production process. And one thing that I probably can spoil is with Ten's keyboard, we will have a factory tour together with Ten's, where he goes through the factory when his keyboard is being produced. And I think the video will be
that one's really cool.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool. And I think the video is like 2 parts because it was so long that we had to cut it up. And the first rough cut was like 3 hours of footage. It was like, holy shit. That's way too much footage. So I think they nailed it back to like around 20 minutes per video, so 40 minutes in total. But it is quite interesting to have another look at the factory. Like we did a factory tour with the 8HE. This one's a little bit more different, and we could also show like different processes, and it's very cool. And one thing that you'll notice is like there are many quality checks along the way, right? Like, hey, is this good? Is that good? And things that are being automated, and
What else I really liked about the video, I didn't see that much, but the parts that I watched, what I thought was really cool is how normally the factory tour is always just Calder, just kind of talking. And now with like Tens, because he's also, he's like professional, right? So he's also like very good on camera. And I feel like he kind of took the role as like, sort of like, oh, this is all new for me, and I'm going to ask a lot of questions from the person who knows a lot about it, which is Calder. And then he comes in and it's like, oh, what's this thing? Oh, what's this thing? And then Calder's like, whoa, actually, blah, 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 blah. So Calder can do this sort of like, kind of teaching role, let's say. So there's a very fun dynamic.
It is.
Really, really fun video.
It is. That's also when we were watching the first draft. We said like, yeah, if we're ever gonna do a factory tour again, we need to have at least 2 people, right? Because then you can bounce off each other. Somebody can ask questions, and it really helps with the dynamic and making also fun moments, I guess. Because one thing that you also notice is with part 1, it's already great, but part 2, it's even, especially during the end, Calder and Dance, they're so used to each other, and everything is filmed in one day. It's like crazy, so you know that they're exhausted at the end of the day, right? And then Calder, especially if he's exhausted, he becomes more funny, I guess, and Dan's also tired, so they have like more of these laughable moments, and yeah, it's a really fun video to watch.
But I feel like it's also kind of tricky to match somebody to Calder, because you do need to have somebody that is like quite used to doing like very long shoots and talking a lot. Because if you are like you and me, well, I won't speak for you, but then at least for me, where it's like, okay, I can kind of keep up with Calder for like 1 or 2 hours, and then I get like too tired, and then it's just like only Calder. And then, but I think Tense is because he's so much more used to like streaming for very long periods of time. He just kind of keeps going as well, and that makes it a lot better. So if we do like ever can find like a partner again, then we need to be strict about who.
But Calder is very good at this, because if a live stream, right, I can talk whatever, and but as soon if there is like a camera on me and I have to talk about something and it needs to contain like information XYZ, I choke. With all the videos we've ever made, right? It's always like, stumbling over words, like, let's do it again, let's think, let's blah blah. I guess I then just start to overthink it, and so it's also not for me here. No.
But Calder is also like, if you look at the updates videos now versus like when we started, you can also clearly tell that he has gotten a lot better. Now it just like feels very natural, and also the updated videos are also like shot very quickly and efficiently. And so I think he also is just a lot better at like the presentation side as well, like what info to get through, and also like his personality has also changed a lot on camera, I think. Like it's a lot more. Sometimes I remember at the start, like sometimes he was like quite like,
you're breaking up, Jeroen.
Bit like angry on camera sometimes. It's like now. Oh, hello. I'm back.
Yeah, you said Calder's angry on camera. Why is Calder angry?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Well, I'm not saying he's always angry on camera. No, but there was definitely some videos I remember where he would do like an update, and people would be like, "Oh, it's the end of the world." Like, what's going on? It was such an update that was such like a big deal for him as well. So he kind of like translated that on the video and kind of like a little bit tense because he also felt very nervous about it. And I think like now when he's on the video, he's always like kind of like a bit more funny, a bit more loose, let's say, and very, very dynamic.
Yeah, you can definitely. He definitely grew in that, and that's fantastic. And it also helps because he does it together with Yanni most of the time, the filming, and that really works well. And Calder has a story, right, and he just does it, and then it works out well. And then Sander or Marco edits it, and it's always like good video. But one thing that you do notice is sometimes a dramatic topic internally pops up, right? Whatever business-related thing that we have to worry about, and you can definitely see the moments when Calder had to shoot a video around the same time that he's more like he's not even there in the video because he's not, even though he presents and talks about
this other topic.
I
can see that. Yeah, because sometimes these things can also be so, it's like all consuming, let's say. Because I remember like a few months ago, I think we can talk about this because it was also on Reddit last week, where there was this whole story with the copycat in China. And I think like we knew about it for a longer time, but then we started to like take it really, really serious. Okay, I'm just gonna be vague about it. Somewhere last year, there were a few particular moments that essentially my whole life, what is this? Like I flew to Taiwan, flew to China, just this only thing focused on this, and it just absorbs everything. And you can imagine, like, let's say you even need to make a video in the middle of that period. There's no freaking way you would even be able to focus on like whatever like shipment update you need to be talking about when you know there's like this such like massive threat for your whole business, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No.
Oh,
I wish we could talk more about that topic, but that's like very very much can't talk about.
No, I mean I wouldn't call it a threat per se, that particular thing, but it is sort of a very new situation we're not used to, so we don't know how to react to it, right? And it is kind of quite scary and quite new, and there are other moments where this also happens. Like, for example, I think FIFA, that video game, they sent us like already like a few times like a big stack of papers like, hey, you stole our logo. Your Wooting logo looks like our esports logo. And
wait, did we talk about that?
Yeah, well, no, it is like something like, okay, this feels serious, right? Because you get like this big paper, and it's like all of a sudden like, oh, it's this FIFA game like from EA. It must be a big player, a lot of money, right? If it goes to court, it's fucked. Where do we get the money from? Yeah. And then when you actually look very closely, like, okay, oh, this is the logo they used in, was it 2019 or 2020? And but we already invented our logo in 2015. So what the fuck is this? We should send them letters, right?
Yeah.
It's but that's just like a minor example of things that, because you've never experienced it, it feels quite scary. But you just have to, I guess, overcome it, and then it's
yeah, definitely.
And I'll always
especially at the start, it just feels like, okay, this is it, we're fucked. Actually, I have to say that doesn't happen as often anymore.
No.
At the start, that would happen more often, because like when we were so small, it felt like, okay, if there was a big thing, and it could have, right? Like there were just things that happen. Like if there was like any kind of factory issue and it's the only product we have, it's like, okay, this is the end, right? But at least like now, when something like happens, so let's say there's like let's assume hypothetically there's like our next keyboard, all of a sudden factory blows up, we lose everything, right? We are able to now recover from that.
Yeah, that's true.
So of course, like it's still going to be like terrible and then very worrying, all that stuff, but then at least like it's not directly company ending anymore, because that was definitely at the start a few moments where you feel like, oh shit.
If you now make the wrong decision or you don't change anything, this ship is sailed, and especially in the beginning, right? Because making keyboards and hardware in general is a very cash hungry business.
Yes, and it takes very long.
Yeah, and one thing we never really did was taking loans from banks or other people, and we didn't want to be dependent on it, and sort of do it from our own, let's say. So if you then have like, I guess, a cash flow review moment, it's like, hey, if we keep on selling like we did the last 2 months, you won't have any money left in 6 months. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh fuck. Yeah.
I still remember this moment with like, especially at the start. Now he still does it like a little bit, but then at the start, like Calder's father was just like the cash flow guy, let's say. He always like kind of kept an eye on like who like how we were doing like cash wise. And I heard about it sometimes, but then I thought like, and there was a moment where I felt like, oh, I think we're doing a bit better now, sales are fine, right? Or I think like a little bit better at least. And I was talking with him and I was like, so Calder's dad, how is the flash flow doing? And he's like, Jeroen, it is not good. And he also said it away. And then he kind of like, he's like, okay, look here, and then this number here, and if you don't do this, then in like a few months you're gonna be like minus this. And like, oh fuck. Wow.
Yeah, but it's also interesting because I also remember a moment when we were selling like the Lacquer Edition keyboard, and that of course generated some nice amount of money as well, right? That you have in your cash thing. And then we were like also doing the cash flow. It was like, hey, we're now in a positive and we can survive for this and blah blah. It's very good. And but actually, it's not good because you can't count on the Lacquer Edition, right? It's not a real product yet. It's only here and there. And if you look at the 2HE and the Wooting one, it's not performing that well. So actually, we're in big trouble. It's like, but why wouldn't you count the leg condition with this? And it's yeah, all these kind of things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that stuff no miss. I have to say.
No. But to be honest, I also don't really. I never like cash flow reviews because it's very very confronting. And Calder is a person who really likes to do this very pessimistic, like worst case scenario. Whatever we do now, we lose 20% of sales, daily sales rate, and then it's going blah blah. And but then again, there's also a scenario where you continue like you currently do, or maybe you pop off because of Fortnite. Who knows? It's
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't really know.
No.
Yeah, which they still ban our keyboards in tournaments. By the way, we recently figured out that it's
well, we usually we're still aware of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then don't move. Yeah, I was actually talking with somebody earlier, and we're talking kind of like about the 68T launch, or what was kind of like the turning point for Wooting, and how long did they take? And it's like, okay, it's very clear it's the 68T, right? Which delivered 2021, I think. But then I was just talking with her, and she asked me, like, okay, but then what if the 60C wasn't like that, like not that big a success? And I was like, yo, that's it.
That's it.
There's no backup. It has to. That has to work. Otherwise, like, yeah, your company is kind of like just kind of done. Oh,
yeah.
And then it turned out to be. I mean, it turned out great, but at that time, that was not that clear.
No. Yeah, there were definitely stressful moments left and right. But I guess that's always with the business. And one thing that I've noticed is there still are, right? But it's different. It's like either unknown territory or the scale is even bigger. Like there are some things that that kept me awake 8 years ago that I think like, who the fuck, right? This is now. How, but yeah, it's also how you
That's
grow
true.
as a professional, right? And as a person, and
yeah.
But at some point you also become more resistant to this. And one thing that's also that inspires a lot of confidence is we have a fantastic team, right? So even if whatever struggle pops up now, it's not like a sole burden the three of us have to carry. It's now okay. You sort of put it in an open. You let your best people on it. You come to a good conclusion, a good solution that fits for Wooting, fits for the customer, fits for the product, and then boom, let's do it.
Yeah. That was also like with the whole copycat stuff. I really feel like, hey, there's really so many people that can actually that can contribute, and also want to help in some ways, and that can really take up so much of the load and remove so much of the stress, which is like really that was really fantastic.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because I think like more and more, sometimes more and more, it kind of feels like kind of playing a role of sort of orchestrator, right? Where it is like, because I feel like when now with Wooting, like you can't really like tell it what way to go or tell people what to do or something, but you try to kind of like push and influence it in different ways and sort of like orchestrate it to kind of like hope like, okay, it kind of keeps in the direction, in the right direction. And but it's also really hard to but you can't also like control that easily or something. There's also with those kind of projects, you kind of set the stage, right? Like, okay, there's this whole thing we take it very seriously, and you have a bunch of plans, but then you do need other people to also like kind of step in and go like, okay, well, this is maybe what we can do, or they maybe like know this person that can kind of help. And we're very lucky that we have like very, very good people that do that stuff. But that's also like just a very very different experience, because before it was just like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do it myself then.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing that always surprises me is sometimes I still feel like, oh, I want to do it myself, or I can do this, or I just start working on it. It's like, yeah, but this and this and this, and for some things I'm not even a person anymore, because there are other systems in place that I don't even fully
Right.
understand, right? But one thing could influence a different thing that I'm not aware of. So you have to give it to
Yeah.
the correct person who is aware of all the
Yeah.
moving parts. And yeah,
Yeah.
that really makes it tricky, because sometimes you think like, oh, this is just a very straightforward solution. I can do just this and this or like this. And then you kind of realize like, oh, I kind of made it worse. Fuck.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was also kind of thinking, we were also talking about this before the live stream, where I also feel like my topics that I can talk about are just kind of like less interesting for the live stream, because before I would just like kind of work on the utility and the keyboard firmware all the time. So I'm like that was kind of like the thing I was mainly working on, and also could kind of like talk about on stream more and more. And that part, because like we have Simon essentially, and it's not just Simon, right? But then but essentially Simon leading that part, and he does like such a good job that essentially I just don't really need to think about that much anymore. And sometimes he kind of updates me and we talk about it, and then but he has like such a clear vision for it that translates like Wooting really well. That for me, like I don't really, I'm barely involved. But then it's kind of like it sucks. At least I get this very moment where it's like, okay, and I think like, okay, what can I share, right? I'm like, okay, well, I will also essentially need to look at the timeline, look at the roadmap to go like, hey, Simon, like I roughly know, but then there's no, I have less stories, let's say, I guess, about it. And the stories I do have, and this is also what we kind of talked about earlier, it's like, okay, yeah, we have a 10 launch coming up. How do we essentially make sure that our servers don't blow up, right? And it's like interesting. And there's a lot of things that interplay with like, okay, we have our servers and our order management system, and then we have like our purchase orders and our inventory, and all these things, they kind of need to align. And during the V2 launch, we had like kind of like essentially barely pulled it through.
Yeah.
In the background. And for customers, it was a great experience, and for most people it was, but there were definitely people stressing a lot, and we tried to kind of be ahead more with that with the 10s launch. But then when it comes to the details of it, it's like I don't think it's not it's not that interesting for just the stream anymore. Also not that interesting for a documentary, I think.
No. Well, I mean, it is some highlights are very interesting. So with the 8AG, we not many people know this, but we were still like not really set on colors. Like 2 days before we actually launched the website, do you want like confetti in it or not confetti in it? And it was like horrible, and assets kept on changing. And at some point, we, it was fine, it was set in stone, and we said like, okay, we're never gonna do it again. At some point, we said like, hey, this is the final product. We're not gonna change anything or add to it, right? Especially something physical that just creates so much stress and horrendous crap shit. Then with the 6-stage V2, we have like, oh, let's make a custom strap for doing the pre-order campaign. Oh, that's kind of fun. And then nobody really picked up on this. And then at some point I was like checking like, oh, strap thing, what's going on? It's like, oh, and then, okay, nobody really thought about strap, like, ooh, now it's going to be like very, very tricky. And then the PD team talks about, hey, how can we make a strap? And their conclusion is like, strap is no fun. We're going to make custom switches, super heavy. And oh, we have this cool game that's now live. Let's make a cool sticker pack. Like, this is what we need, right? This is what we should have done. And that's like 6 weeks before the launch. And that's like, you would think like, well, I think, no, actually 6 weeks before delivery. So you would think like, okay, this is horrible, because now we have to make 2 extra physical products to be in our warehouse.
It was horrible.
and even some keyboards actually got delayed like by 2 weeks because of this. And this is,
it was a nightmare.
This was horrible, and I do, in the end, the rewards are fantastic, and I do like it, the heavier switch, and it really adds to the theme, right? How we build up the campaign with the game, and it all fits and sounds together in hindsight. But at the moment, it was like such a shitty choice. and it's a good example how people can make a decision on something, and then other people within a company like this, but we don't really grasp the full picture or the thing. And then, in our Switch manufacturing, I mean, God bless them that they, pulled this off still in reasonable amount of time. And of course, our people who kept on chasing them to make this work. And
Yeah.
The stickers was
Yeah, and
very
the
cool. Stickers was in the end very easily because we went with a Swedish company who made these, and they were like super chill. I've never had such a nice talk with a sales agent from a company.
yeah, but you say it's very chill, but then it was very chill for you.
Yes.
Because not for the people that had to arrange all the shipments.
Yeah.
They had like, yeah,
Yeah. Okay, still getting it in the
especially
warehouse
Andrew
sometimes.
and
Yes.
Mark
Yeah, that's true.
and Roger, they had like nightmare scenarios for the V2 launch. And it all worked. I mean, it all worked out fantastic. Like this is all like in the background, right? Like for the customer facing, we only had that one, isn't it? Like I think like 1 week delay, like waiting on the switches. But then for them, it was like just like the craziest puzzle to figure out, because you have like all these different batches coming in by boat, by plane, at different timing, and there's like different phases as well. And then you essentially need to align all of them so that every customer's like box can be filled with the right products at the right time. And that's like that was it really pushed like our systems to our approach to the limit. And even with that delay where we because I think the switches were we were going to start I think the week before I kind of learned that we were going to start the shipments like next week, but we had to essentially delay an unknown quantity of orders because the switches would come in later. But because like every order has like different products, some have like just a keyboard, some have the keyboard and a wrist rest or those kind of things, and some have the metal one and some have the plastic one or some have the module, blah blah blah. It's very complex to even think about like, okay, if this, let's say you have like 200 orders and 100 switches come in, which 100 orders are you going to ship, right? And it's a very like and the sort of like the simple ways to just think like, okay, maybe just by order date, right? Okay, the first come first serve. But it could be that the third order actually maybe has a wrist rest that will only come in like a few weeks later. So essentially that's like a wasted shipment because that order will need to wait on another product anyway. So essentially you get this sort of like efficiency calculation where it's like, okay, I look at like, okay, which orders are like actually ready to go out when these switches come in, and then you maybe look at like, okay, which order is going to be the earliest, right? Because it's still fair that for all the orders that are ready, you take the person that got their order in the earliest, right? That's just fair. And it turned out that if we run that entire calculation through all of our V2 orders, which was already by itself kind of a pain in the ass, it turned out that at first like we thought like maybe like 500 to 1,000 orders would get delayed, and then it turned out to be like 150, which still kind of sucked, but it was at least a lot better than what we thought initially. And it was luckily only like 1 week, I think.
Yeah, these things, right? That yeah, clusterfucks. and
Clusterfucks, yeah.
And if we decided on like in the we should have had a point where it's like, okay, now we can decide pre-order perks, and that's what we're gonna work on, which we maybe do or do not for our next product, right? We have like a certain date with our SOP, like, hey, if we ever do another founders campaign for a product, this is when we need to decide on the physical perks, and then we can make them, and we can't change anything after that date. And that's very tricky because sometimes you just think like, oh my God, if I just knew this 3 months ago, it would have improved the whole experience so much better. And these ideas, these are very dangerous because sometimes they seem quite simple. It always have like it has always a big impact, right? And sometimes you just have to like put a pin on it or kill your darling or think like, hey, let's do this for the next product, right? Let's keep this in the fridge and explore this idea another time.
Yeah. But I do sort of have this belief, it's not really belief, but then what I would also be worried about, like if you err too much on the other side where you feel like, okay, it needs to be shut this time and then you're not allowed to touch it anymore, it needs to be blah 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 blah, you also miss out on like creative opportunities, let's say. Because with the stickers and with the stickers, for example, like that whole like switchy highs in the game and the characters in the game, that only really like formed essentially through the campaign, like throughout the campaign. So you could have also never really like part of like your initial project vision already design like which kind of stickers you're going to have and all that kind of stuff, because it's something that just kind of like, okay, we have the Switchy heist. Oh, we're going to make these characters. Okay, Fabio, draw some characters. Oh, these are actually quite cool. People really like them. Okay, let's make stickers. You know, like it really, it has to kind of like naturally evolve as well.
And the worst part is, okay, now we have these stickers. It gets even worse. Now we have to wait with the stickers until the Switchy Heist campaign is over, so we can put the statistics on the back of the stickers. That's fantastic.
Wait, you did that?
Let's put
Okay, well, that kind of dependency, you probably know what, yeah.
put more pressure on everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Erik, I do need to.
Yeah,
go
it's
to bed
also
soon.
fun. It's me too. I also need to go to bed.
Yeah.
It's dark, huh? Okay, good. Well, this was fun. It's nice talking to you, Jeroen.
Yeah, nice to have a conversation with you, Erik.
Yeah, it's good. Don't forget, TENS in 6 days. You can get a TENS keyboard. If you think like, hey, I want a TENS keyboard with his signature, because there are like 100 keyboards he signed and that are randomly distributed through our warehouse. We don't even know where they are, so maybe you get like a signed version. But if you want to get a free TENS keyboard signed, TENS is giving away this week, I think starting today, up until the actual launch day, he's going to give away 10 signed keyboards on his social media channels. And it's on all different socials. He's going to give away a different amount of keyboards. So if you don't want to spend any money on a TENS keyboard, but still want a signed version, that's the way to go, right? Then keep an eye on the socials, and then best of luck to you, and have a good weekend, right?
Have a good weekend, and talk to you guys in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh, you're gonna do the stream in 2 weeks, Jeroen?
No.
Oh,
I don't think so.
I thought you said see you in 2 weeks.
Who knows?
Who knows? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, see the people watching see Wooting in 2 weeks.
Okay, good. Well, see you Wooting in 2 weeks, people. Bye bye.